Blaine here. Welcome to part 2 of the new career tutorial. This time we're looking at the character summary options. This is the last section before you start your new career, and it's all about your commander. This is where you decide their backstory, the skills they'll start with, the bonuses they'll give to your company, how they look, their name, everything. Some people use this screen tactically, others go purely roleplay, many in between. One key difference is your commander and all other pilots is they cannot be killed, ever. Hell, they can get so severely maimed they'll spend a year in the medbay, but they'll eventually be back on the battlefield. This immortality is often used to tactically pick skills to put your commander in amongst the most dangerous of actions. So let's start with editing their name and appearance. Your commander will initially get assigned a random call sign, a random name, whether their pronoun is he, they or she, and also a random voice. You can also change your portrait that includes many that have been developed by the RogueTech community and also the voice. It also includes a drunk Junkin Fisher. For those who don't know, he's an infamous Solaris commentator. Once you've picked a portrait, you can then further customise that until you've chosen just the look you want. Just bear in mind, some of the custom portraits can't be further edited. Going back to the main screen, we have the 3 character backgrounds to choose from. The first one is where you were born. Just to clear up some confusion here, this doesn't mean you have to play the faction you pick here, it's just a backstory. You can play the game however you want. Sure, pick Steiner, then go play as Karita, even though they're still pissy with each other from the First Succession War. Each of the options you have here will give you a bonus to one or more of your starting skills. There are a few tactical picks worth noting. First, if you pick an option that gives +2 to a single skill, that's worth more experience points than 2 skills of +1, simply because of the increase in experience needed to go from one level to the next as you train. If you go down this route, there are 3 picks here that are particularly valuable early on. The first is the Deep Periphery. This gives you +2 gunnery, as you can see here, and given how hard it is to literally hit the side of a skyscraper at the start, those extra points can really make the difference between winning and losing. The second option is the other periphery, the Rimwood Periphery. This time it gives you +2 piloting. If your other picks strongly favour melee, such as Gladiator or Test Pilot, then every point of piloting counts when it comes to smashing the faces of enemy mechs. The final tactical pick is Trueborn. Yep, Clanners. This is the only pick that rewards you more than a pair of skill points, this time giving you +1 of all 4 skills. However, this does prevent your commander from using vehicles, which, given they're basically immortal, is often a role best suited to them. Moving on, we have your commander's interests. There are only 5 options here, but each one will give your commander 2 specific quirks. These are highly specialised skills that can give your commander some great combat or utility potential. As with other content, the wiki has a full list of available pilot quirks. I'll stick the link in the comments section below. So the first one we've got is Space. This provides the quirks of Spacer and Honest. Spacer is a utility quirk that reduces your Argo monthly upkeep by 5% and reduces your Argo upgrades cost by 5%. This is a really useful utility quirk. The cost of fully upgrading your Argo is, well, to be fair, I have no idea what the base cost is, but it's a lot, so a 5% reduction is well worth it. The second quirk, Honest, gives your commander +1 morale in battle, so makes him slightly less likely to panic during intense combat situations. The next pick we've got is Gambler. This time your commander gets the quirks Jinxed and Lucky. Jinxed is an interesting combat quirk. It's like a double-edged sword. It gives by increasing your evasion and maximum evasion pips by 1, but then it takes away by reducing your commander's defense by 1. So, on the one hand, you get hit less often, at least as long as you move fast. On the other, when you do get hit, it's gonna hurt. Lucky is a really useful combat skill. It increases clustering by +2, but more importantly, it reduces jam chance by 10%. If you're a fan of experimental or pirate weapons, jamming and misfiring are a real thorn in your side, so anything to reduce it, especially by a full 10%, is a huge bonus. The third pick is Tech. This time your commander will get the quirks Technician and XCOM Star. Both of these are great utility quirks, with XCOM Star also providing something extra in combat. Technician provides you with +1 mech tech point and also a 5% reduction in the cost and upkeep of mech bay upgrades on your Argo, while Comstar gives you plus 0.5 mech tech points and 5% sight and sensor combat bonus. Additional sight and sensors can help pinpoint tricky to find targets such as battle armors, although to be fair you'll still need a sensor package to do this early on. As for mech tech, this is an Argo skill that directly affects your repair and rebuild time, and your chance to recover mech locations and equipment when rebuilding. In game there's a cap of 60 mech tech points to gain the maximum benefit, so it's a valuable milestone to aim for, although there's no point going above 60. Overall though, it means a commander with this pick is great for utility, which if you've previously opted to enable Ronin pilots is pretty much all your commander will be useful for after a short time. The next option is History. This time the quirks assigned a Lost Tech Experience and Bookish. Bookish is a fairly basic quirk. It provides 5% sight and sensors, just like Comstar did, but without the secondary bonus. Lost Tech only gives you 0.5 mech tech points and a 5% reduction in the cost and upkeep of Argo's system upgrades. Overall I have to say History is by far the weakest pick here. The final one within this section is Loner. This is purely a combat pick, with the quirks Brave and Assassin. Brave gives your commander +1 resolve and improved panic resistance. The bonus resolve means your lance is more likely to experience inspirations and be less likely to be affected by negative morale events. Assassin is a really good quirk to have if you want to greatly increase the accuracy of your offensive push shots. The quirk increases your cool shot location accuracy by 10% and your offensive push accuracy by 3%. As a skill early on, this means your commander is exceptionally accurate when you're able to use an offensive push shot with them. Later game they can become a great sniper or even a headshot pilot. Now we can move on to career. The final pick, and the most interesting in my mind, is to choose one of 12 possible early career choices your commander made and see how that affects them as you start your journey as a mercenary company. The choice you make here will give your commander another 2 quirks, plus a bonus in the form of mechs, vehicles, equipment or C-bills. It's worth highlighting though that some of the quirks on offer are the same as those you can pick for your commander's interests, so don't waste a pick. Duplicate quirks add nothing to your commander. In most cases, the additional gear will mean you get one or more rolls on a table of potential units or equipment. These tables can also be found on the wiki with the link below in the comments. You'll get your free gear once your career progresses 1 day forward after starting, so don't expect it to be there the moment you start on day 1. Make sure you progress to get it. So the first of these is Veteran that we're going to look at. This adds the quirk Lucky, the same as we saw with Gambler, plus the another quirk called Military. Military gives your commander an extra point of health, -1 recoil and +1 offensive push accuracy. This combines well with the Loner pick from above to make for a really potent range specialist, as your commander. Veteran also provides you with a random bushwhacker. This will randomly generate one of 23 possible bushwhackers for you. Freelancer is the next one we're going to look at. This one gives you the skills Reckless and Drunk. This sounds like a great combo of quirks. Reckless reduces your own evasion by 1, but it also means your commander ignores 1 point of a target's evasion. Drunk actually increases the stability damage you take, making you more likely to fall. But it also gives you bravado, so you're less likely to panic and eject, possibly because you can't remember where the lever is. Drunk also gives you +1 offensive push accuracy from this quirk, so it's quite useful if you want to get a bit more accuracy when you do those. The gear you get from Freelancer is a random hunchback generated from a list of a massive 35 potential variants, so don't expect to be able to re-roll and get the exact one you want. The next career your commander might have is Gladiator. This gives you the quirks Honest, the same as we saw for Space, and also the quirk Gladiator. This quirk is all about the melee, giving you +5 damage and stability bonus to punches, kicks and the use of melee weapons. You also get given a selection of 6 items, shown here as random specialist items, from a number of different tables that can include handheld weapons, equipment and melee weapons. Of the 2 melee specialist options here, I would personally recommend Test Pilot over Gladiator. The next one we're going to look at is Mercenary. This is a fairly weak pick, to be honest. Your commander gains the quirks Athletic and Mech Warrior. Athletic only gives 1 health, while Mech Warrior only gives 1 initiative. You do, however, get a random advanced unit. This has the potential to give you something interesting, but in general other picks are better and more reliable at giving you a good start. Inheritor comes next. It's yet another fairly weak pick, I'm afraid. This time you get the quirks Lucky and Noble. Noble only reduces the cost and upkeep of Argo morale and medical upgrades by 5%. The inherited unit you get is an antique. Honestly, the majority deserve to be looked at in a museum and are not really fit for use on the battlefield. It's a fun roleplay pick, but not one I would go for myself. The next option of Merchant is the only pick that won't give you any free gear. Instead you get to start out with a bonus of 3 million extra C-bills, along with the quirks Merchant and Dishonest. Yes, you can combine Honest with Dishonest, more like a Del Boy pick that way. The Dishonest quirk though is just a fun roleplay thing. It gives no benefit. All a Dishonest pilot does is sometimes steal 500 C-bills for you or from you. The Merchant quirk on the other hand has a more useful utility. It reduces the cost of Argo upgrades by 5% and has a 5% chance per day of providing you with an extra 1,000 C-bills. Over a long career this is a potentially valuable source of extra income. As a start, getting 3 million extra C-bills though gives you a lot of flexibility to buy upgrades for your starting units, so it's actually quite a strong pick. If you've picked to include the Quick Sell module, you'll also see the sales rep option here. This gets you the quirks Merchant and Jinxed. Plus you get a selection of highly questionable quick sell products and units. You actually get given a mech, some weapons, some ammo and some gear from the high quality quick sell range of dodgy stuff. Test Pilot is the next one we're looking at. This option is really good choice if you want to go down the melee route with your commander. You gain the quirks Gladiator and Pain Shunt, plus you gain a melee specialist Hatchetman as a mech. While we already know what Gladiator does, Pain Shunt is invaluable for a melee specialist, especially when you get hold of a DNI cockpit. The quirk makes your commander immune to injuries due to ammo explosions, overheating and DNI feedback. As for your Hatchetman, this rolls on a table of 7 possible units, which might even award you with the really well built Pirate Hatchetman. Yes, I said well built and pirate in the same sentence. Talking of pirates, we now move on to Corsair. This is a great pick if you want to roleplay a pirate company, and just as a good pick anyway for pirates. Your commander will get the quirks Assassin and Criminal, and you'll gain a random pirate mech. The Criminal quirk is another purely flavour based ability. Similar to Dishonest, this one has a 10% chance to steal 1,000 C-bills either from you or for you. The table of mechs you might obtain though include some real gems and quite a few duds. If you're extremely lucky, you might even get given a 65-ton Corsair as your free unit. So what else we got? We've still got Officer. This is actually one of my favourite picks here. You get the Officer and Commander quirks for your commander, plus you get to choose either an AWACS or an Oracle ACMV. Officer gives your commander a lance-wide bonus of plus 2.5% sight and sensors, while the Commander quirk gives your lance plus 1 lance resolve and plus 1 morale. While not the strongest quirks available, it's the vehicle pick that makes this option really valuable. The AWACS is a fast, 30-ton stealth VTOL with some really powerful early game sensors and utility weapons. It's a very strong support unit during your first couple of years of gameplay. The Oracle, on the other hand, is an advanced HQ unit with mortars. This will increase your entire lance initiative and provide support from both the mortars and the most powerful sensor ping available, the satellite ping. The next option we've got is the BA pilot. This is great, especially if you've decided to play one of the BA starts already. It will give your commander the dependable and brave quirks, plus you'll get an extra BA suit and additional weapons. Dependable reduces your stability damage taken by 5% and improves your panic resistance. The gear picks you get gives you either an additional 4-ton Grey Death or Inner Sphere battle armor, plus 3 rolls on the BA weapons table. This can really help with a BA start, where it's common to lose a weapon or two each battle. The final option that we've got is Soldier. Here you get the same quirks as a BA pilot with Dependable and Brave, but you also get an extremely large selection of weapons and equipment. You actually get 32 pieces of gear in total, including ammo, equipment and weapons, so this start can really set you up in a strong position to highly customise your initial mechs. That pretty much wraps it up when it comes to starting a new career. I hope this tutorial has been useful. As ever, if you have questions, please post them in the comments and I'll try to answer them. All of the links that I've referred to will be below in the comments, and if you like this, please like, sub, etc. and have fun in game.